I don't know what to say. I think the election just speaks for itself. There's so many thoughts I have. There's so many sides. There's the side of us that wants to be more progressive, wants to be against the genocide, more pro-environment, caring about how we distribute the wealth in this country. And then there's the side of the conservatives and old money and people who fall in line with what they're told, whether they believe, excuse me, Trump is really going to help the poor classes in rural states. I highly doubt it. But a lot of us couldn't, in our good conscience, support Kamala Harris either. And I wanted to at first, but this genocide in Palestine that's spilling into Lebanon and stuff is just, to me, it just shows me that this country cares, this country's government or the people in power who want to make money care about just making more money, making more profit. What makes you more money and profit? War. There's plenty of companies that have contracts for building weapons. And even though we have people who want to be in the middle, which I guess is what the Democrats are supposed to be, even though they're moving more towards what used to be the Republican side, we're too afraid to be more progressive. We're too afraid to, do the reforms we need, but also like hold on to important issues like reproductive rights, environmental concerns, being against the genocide and doing an embargo, using that money that we send overseas to help things over here like homelessness and things like that. These are ideas that many of us have talked about on TikTok, and yet whether Republican or Democrat, there's a lot of stuff that's just status quo. That's just the same all the time. So, yeah, I guess America is a pretty racist, sexist, not so progressive country. Now, I know people cared about economy issues, but we don't know. We don't know if it was all Biden. Sometimes a president inherits stuff from the previous president. It takes a while for things to even out. So, who knows? Who knows? He says, Donald Trump says his one motto is promises made, promises kept. Okay. But that depends on who he's talking to, doesn't it? Because I'm sure he says whatever he wants the person to hear, depending on who it is. I don't know. The only thing I can hope for is that Trump is a big thorn in Netanyahu's side, which, I don't know. I think he probably would be pro all the genocide and bloodshed and stuff. It's like the poor who voted for Trump wanted to vote for him because he would help the economy and jobs and what manufacturing. I mean, his tariffs make it impossible for manufacturing to happen here. And do we really want to manufacture everything here? Also, he's a criminal. He's got felonies. He's tried to impeach him twice. I'm just completely confused at this country. And I know people want to blame us who voted for third party, but if Kamala Harris and the Democrats wanted to be for a ceasefire, if they wanted to do an embargo, if we really made our presence known that we were not going to support this crap, she would have more people voting for her. I mean, come on. Apparently Kennedy got votes too, which is interesting, even though he was not running anymore. So I guess at this point we're just going to see what kind of crazy carnival show he puts together for his presidency with his cabinet, like Elon Musk and maybe Robert Kennedy Jr. It's interesting that, like, in, I think it was 6 or 7 states, they were voting for reproductive rights towards abortion. So I don't know. It's like we pick and choose our issues instead of thinking of the whole system. And that's the problem. The whole system needs to change. You know, maybe Democrats were considered the lesser of the two evils, but when whoever's in power still has the same alliances, still funnels money to places like Israel and other countries that are committing genocide, you know, what's the point? Anyway, I haven't really checked on all the stuff for California, like local stuff. I think I live in Oakland, so I think they did vote yes on the recall for Pamela Price, but I'm not sure about the mayor. I'll have to check that. And Proposition 33 and 34. I think Prop 36 passed, which was cutting down on crime. Which I'm not against. I'm not against cutting down on crime because, you know, small business owners need that support. But it was talking in the language about heavier, excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold. Heavier punishments for people who committed crimes under $1,000. So I don't know how that's going to go. Anyway. Our answer is always prosecution or deportation, and, you know, just cut out the problem, whether instead of like figuring out a solution or a compromise or something that's gonna, like, you know, rehabilitate people as well as, you know, cutting down on crime, because the pendulum just swings back and forth. You just prosecute people like crazy, and then you make it hard for people to afford their rent and live and get enough for their jobs and pay, and it's just going to keep happening. Who do you want your prosperity for, America? Who do you want your freedom and liberty for? And who knows how that's even going to affect healthcare too. Anyway, I gotta go. I got a class to go to. It's a sunny day here in Oakland, and I'm trying to hold on to every bit of peace I have for now. But it's been hard to breathe. It's been hard to do lots of things. But, you know, take it one moment at a time. And don't blame the public. Realize that the system has to change. Realize that we need to figure out how, and maybe we can't. Maybe we need to just, I don't know, crazy idea. Maybe we need to just be all our own miniature countries, because it seems like some of us want to be progressive and do good things, and some of us want to just be in the Middle Ages. Anyway, I think that's all I have for now.